Ladies and gentlemen, there is something about Just Stop Oil. Yeah, the people who were busy painting Stonehenge bright orange last week, and a bunch of private jets. Now, I'm not just talking about the obvious stuff. You know, they're really annoying and disruptive. They all look like they could trace their ancestry back to the same soybean. No, I'm talking about something else, and we'll get into it right after this. Bird flu, bird flu, bird flu, Joe Biden shits himself, bird flu, Trump's a naughty boy, bird flu, bird flu. It's all over the media, and I don't know how much is hype and how much is legit cause for concern, but I do know it's a good idea to be prepared. The FDA commissioner's on record saying, the real worry is it will jump to the human lungs, where when that's happened in other parts of the world, the mortality rate has been 25%. Which, I mean, that's not ominous and fucked up at all, nothing to see here. Luckily, the wellness company has developed a contagion emergency kit, a prescription-only stockpile of life-saving medications. There's still plenty of doctors that won't even prescribe some of this stuff. Have a look for yourself at twc.health/bearing. Each kit provides you with a carefully selected assortment of effective medications for a whole bunch of respiratory illnesses, so you can rest easy knowing you have emergency meds on hand, along with a guidebook for safe use. Backed by research from experts like Dr. Peter McCullough, every American should have at least one of these kits in their home. Avoid the chaos, wait time and price of the hospital, and have exactly what you need for as low as the cost of a single doctor's visit. Ordering your kit takes less than 2 minutes and couldn't be simpler. Choose the kits that are right for you and complete their clinical intake form. For one of the wellness company's medical providers to approve your prescription, visit twc.health/bearing. Use code BEARING for $30 off and free shipping. Yeah, so a couple of members of Just Stop Oil sprayed the 5,000-year-old monolith Stonehenge bright orange last week. Now, it was only cornstarch, so it's okay. It'll wash off. They were just trying to make a point. But you know what the funny thing is? I don't see any of them spraying a pride crossing with cornstarch, because pride crossings are just too sacred. I mean, it'd probably get just as much attention, but that would just be going too far, you know what I mean? But you've got these pleb underlings, right? These university-aged gullible fucks going out there and pulling these stunts that inevitably get them arrested, while you've got the backers of this group sitting back on their piles of cash, encouraging these dumb young passionate fucks to go out there and do this shit. Now here's what I mean. From what I can gather, Just Stop Oil has two major funders. These are Dale Vince, the owner of Ecotricity, a renewable energy company with an annual turnover of around £200 million, and Eileen Getty, via the American-based Climate Emergency Fund. Let's have a look at these two, shall we? Yeah, so Dale Vince is the owner of Ecotricity, a renewable energy company with an annual turnover of around £200 million, which is convenient because he's the one set to make millions when people get all guilty and switch to green energy, you know what I mean? He also gets a fuckload of government subsidies for running his renewable energy company. And Just Stop Oil, to him, is basically just a marketing ploy. Drum up a whole heap of attention about how Britain's killing the world with its whopping 1.1% of global emissions. Make everyone scared and afraid. Switch to green energy. I'm your guy. I've got the solution. Now, he's also the chairman of a football club called the Forest Green Rovers, because of course he is. And in 2023, he announced the launch of EcoJet, the world's first electric airline, powered by renewable energy. I mean, it won't be just yet. They're going to use aviation fuel like everyone else. And when the technology's good enough, they'll make the switch. Just like every other fucking airline. What a gimmick. This guy's saving the world and just so happens to be making massive fucking bank at the same time. What a coincidence. And then we have Eileen Getty. Eileen Getty is the 65-year-old heiress to the Getty oil fortune. That's right, she's from oil money. And when she's not busy telling the rest of us how we're ruining the environment, she's jet-setting around the world on her decades-old gas-guzzling Boeing 727 with her aides. And yes, I mean both kinds of aides. That's really all I know about Eileen Getty, apart from the fact that she lives in Brad Pitt's old house, a $33 million Los Angeles estate. But yeah, another climate hypocrite. She can fly around the world in private on a fucking Boeing 727, but you've got to be held up on the motorway by Just Stop Oil, who she funds, if you want to spend a couple of weeks in fucking Bali. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's have a look at the plebs.
My name's Neeve. I'm 21.
Wait. How does that say Neeve? Isn't that Neam? Fucking Neeve, what are you talking about? And drink some water, Neeve. These clicks and pops are unbearable. It's like, my name is Neeve. Look, she's clearly thirsty. Drink some water.
And I'm a student at the University of Oxford, Today, I'm taking action with Just Stop Oil to demand that the UK government commits to signing the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty and promises to stop burning fossil fuels by 2030. To refuse to do so is to warrant death, destruction and suffering on an absolutely immense and immeasurable scale.
Look, I'm not against a greener future. My house produces more power than it uses. I don't have a huge gas-guzzling car. I'm not against producing less pollution. But if we stop burning fossil fuels in such a short amount of time, that's going to cause immense suffering. In terms of both health and prosperity, we rely on fossil fuels to power our societies, to transport us to where we need to go, to build and improve living conditions for everyone. I'm sure there will be a date where everything can be renewable. They reckon that date is 2050. Some people say 2060, but 2030 is just unrealistic. And when you've got China signing off on 2 new coal plants per week, I don't see how spraying Stonehenge bright orange is going to help. I mean, unless you want to send a belated message to those gas-guzzling Neolithic builders.
Today, we'll be taking action at Stonehenge the day before the solstice. For thousands of years, people have come to Stonehenge on the solstice to celebrate our natural world, to celebrate the beauty of our natural world. But I can't help thinking, what does it look like today and what the heck have we done to it? These stones have stood here for 5,000 years. What will the world look like in 5,000 years' time? What will our legacy be? It's becoming ever more clear that we end the fossil fuel era or the fossil fuel era ends us.
Sure thing, boss. Why don't you go tell that to your backers?
I'm 22 and I've just sprayed 2 private jets orange. We need an international treaty against the burning of all oil, coal and gas. While people are starving, the elite and the rich fly thousands and thousands of feet in the air above us all. Billionaires are not untouchable.
Oh, while billionaires fly thousands of feet in the air, give it a fucking rest. You don't even know who funds you. And poor people are starving? Yeah, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen if we stop burning fossil fuel? I haven't seen too many electric tractors, have you? And what do you expect developing countries to do? I mean, apparently 60% of Africans are without basic energy services. And you expect them to go straight to green energy? Those poor cunts are too busy digging up the materials we need to make batteries. Go back to university and work on something worthwhile. Fucking virtue signalling retard. So the next group is what I call middle management. They're the people who are slightly higher up, they sort of call the shots, and they themselves have even been arrested on occasion. Not for serious stuff like breaking into an airport or desecrating ancient ruins, you know, petty stuff like blocking traffic, stuff like that. So you've got Roger Hallam. He's the founder of Just Stop Oil. He's an environmental activist and a PhD researcher on civil disobedience at King's College in London. I mean, fucking hell. This is clown world. He's a PhD researcher on civil disobedience at King's College. Anyway, he's a vegan and he was formerly an organic farmer. He's been arrested a few times over the years for petty things like conspiracy to cause a public nuisance and criminal damage for spray painting "Divest from oil and gas now" at King's College. Then you've got Zoe Cohen, a Just Stop Oil spokesperson. She lost her shit during an interview on Sky News last year after a protester interrupted a stage performance of Les Miserables.
We've already crashed through thresholds that we were supposed to reach in decades. How worse does it have to get? How many kids have to die? How many more young people have to do this stuff? I don't know what else to say, Anna. Why aren't you on the streets with us? That's all I can say. How do you explain your inaction? How do you explain it? Everyone here, all the presenters that we talk to, how do you explain your inaction? How much longer are you going to keep this journalistic objectivity up?
Zoe's been arrested a few times for things like blocking motorway traffic and criminal damage when she smashed a bunch of windows at a bank in London. Then you've got Ben Larson, another spokesperson. He appeared on GBN to discuss the recent action at Stonehenge. He was arrested in 2022 for gluing himself to a road during a protest.
Britain is a strong enough nation, technologically developed, has a great workforce, and we can put together a plan to have clean, renewable energy in the hands of people.
Today we have 4.8% in Britain of all the energy is solar and wind. 4.8%. And that's just part of it. Your clothes aren't just electricity. It's materials and so on. It comes from oil. You wouldn't have your phone. You wouldn't have this studio. You wouldn't have television. You wouldn't have anything if we went back to
pretty
that.
fast and loose with the facts.
What the fuck is he talking about? What does he think phones and cameras and computers are made of? Recycled fucking bamboo pulp? What a wanker. You see, all these people are just patsies. They're patsies for the rich guys at the top. Whether it's funneling sales to your eco energy company or an outlet for some sort of guilt held for living the sweet life off that juicy oil money. Because do you think those guys have ever been arrested? No, they fucking haven't. But at the end of the day, they're all hypocrites, every single one of them.
If I look through this hedge just here, there's rubbish dumped everywhere. You can see what we got: sleeping bags, plastic bags full of rubbish, liners, more plastic bottles, plastic chairs, more plastic chairs. Absolute mess. And all this crap has been left here by the Just Stop Oil campaigners. We look here, you can see covered up here, concreted in one of the tunnels where they've been trying to dig underneath this main road here, right outside the Kingsbury Oil Terminal. And there's more concreted areas there where they've been filling in the holes. So what I want to know from somebody senior at Just Stop Oil, how is this acceptable? People dumping crap over our British countryside, polluting it, destroying the countryside and putting our wildlife at risk with rubbish. How can you justify this, and how can you tell me this is acceptable?
Alright, well I'm going to leave it there. Be a sport and comment, share and like this video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Ta-ta, cheerio.
Recession! Give me better times, give me better times. Recession!